Hi, this is Mia. It's been, well, a little more than 24 hours since I finished my board exam, and I realized I made a bunch of mistakes, and I started studying for the stupid test again. Or what I like to do is not study, but come home and look at the answers, which I didn't do. I took the test last year, which cost several $100s. If not last year, probably paid over $1,000 with the extra classes and the books and everything that I ordered. And I retook it, and I retook some of the extra study classes. I made stupid mistakes about stupid things that I feel like I knew were right, but there was always like two answers they could be, a lot of them weren't. And I'm like, what do I usually do? Even during like pharmacology, even during pathology, my best thing was to first choice, don't change the answer. That's how I got through those classes. But now I wish I'd changed it, because it's like, I might be like, well, I really want to change these two questions, and then I will erase every single one on there and be like, okay, self-doubt, this one I messed up on, so I must have messed up on a bunch of other ones. So I finally had a day like last night where I didn't have to study, although I was looking through my notes and a couple books I have here. Finally fell asleep. Wanted to spend more time with my kids, which they're like teens. One is like a teen because he's 12. One will be 14 in a couple weeks. It's like they don't care about a lot of family time. You know, when they were younger, it used to be, let's watch a movie, let's do this, let's do that. And of course, I'd always fall asleep. So I guess it's their turn to I was like, oh, family time. They want to do something fun, and I'd fall asleep. Now it's like, I want to do something fun, and they want to be on the computer. So I had another class today. I had homework assignment due, so I had to leave in the morning before noon. Barely made it, but, you know, actually had to I looked up different online highway instructions to get there. Although there's been times during exams and finals that I'll get lost going to the place I've been going to every day for years and years, like 4 years at a time. Here's my guinea pig. You can't see him because he's dark. Anyways. He is up here with me upstairs because I want to play a movie called THX 1138 by written and directed by George Lucas. 1971. I don't know. I was reading about something, and then I was researching something, and somebody said something about this movie, and so I ordered it from the library. Yeah. So I'm like, well, that's the day off. But anyways, back to the class. We learned how to ferment and make sauerkraut. And the lady has a bunch of classes, and she had a bunch of health issues and stuff that she helped heal her gut, basically. If your gut's not healthy, then the rest of your body. And a lot of people, even for me, they'll tell me that I'm eating the wrong foods, but yet their health is just completely hanging on by a string. So I got to keep it in mind. And even today, I ate a bunch of food that I wasn't going to eat, and a bunch of cheese I wasn't going to eat because I keep gaining weight. But I'm like, oh my gosh, what is my problem? So I just have a lot of stress. I need to do something about stress reduction. But that class helped me to just chill out about this test. Four or five of us took it, and I probably stressed them out until I went home to study for it again. It's like, and I made a really long video yesterday and was like, despite all my hope and my prayers, I feel really bad. And I've never felt this bad before, but I feel really bad. And I will pray, and I will just shut up, talk positive, think positive. They're gonna throw some questions out, even despite the ones that are really hard that nobody got right. They're gonna throw those out, and if I got like 7, 10, 15 wrong that were stupid, that's gonna be a few wrong. Everything else can be right, technically speaking. So I need to think positive and get rid of the attitude. And there's a lot of clinic stuff that I'm behind on. In fact, I should probably go out. I really want to just sleep. I should go out and get my clipboard and go through. I have like, oh, I'll do this next week, and next week I'll do this in like 4 weeks when the boards are over. So it's time to start catching up. We have a lot of like 100 and something checkoffs that we need to get before we graduate. and despite hundreds of something of hours of patient contact and observation hours, which is different than the hours. It's easier to get hours when they sign you up for stuff, but it's almost like, I don't know, some competitiveness. And I'm at this point, it's summertime. The last summer, if things go well, when things go well, that I will be done in less than a year, which will mean I'd be done in about 11 months. I just wanted to say, I am torn between, I mean, realistically, any sane person would think, finish up these requirements, finish up every hour, even if it's like an hour a week, an hour a day, 5 hours a day. Finish up these requirements for the observation hours, because I need like 270 or something ridiculous like that, and I've got like 21. So my mind's like, get these hours done and just move on. Yeah, I just want to say that. But the other part of me is like, I'm a parent, I'm a single parent with kids. They're not able to go camping. They're not able to go to the movies. They're not able to have some kind of fun dinner because I'm so busy every day, like up until 7 days a week. Several weeks a term, at least 2 weeks a term. I have 7 days a week, and a lot of time I have 6 days a week. Usually about 7 to 9 weeks a term. 9 out of 12 weeks a term. 7 to 9 weeks. I've been having. It's more like 7 to 12 weeks. For the last 2 terms, I've had 6 days a week, or at least Saturday with no weekend. And even because I go to church on Sundays, even then, I have to make sure my guinea pig doesn't he's like looking at me funny. I have to make sure he doesn't escape. Normally, I cover him with a blanket. I wish that I could show you what he looks like, because he's yeah, there he is. He was comfortable. Now I just did that, and hopefully he doesn't run away and start hiding underneath the furniture. I'm gonna get him food. It's really hot up here. I don't like changing the temperature of my animal's environment over and over, but I might just put him back downstairs where his cage is, which needs to be cleaned, and his hair needs to be cut. He's a long hair, so I'm really torn between. Like, part of me is like, pray about it and ask these people for the hours, because basically you got to get on the phone and email and start contacting every doctor in town and ask them to come to their clinic and observe, and they have every right to say no. They're not required anyway. I've gotten a lot of no's. Part of me is like, who cares? Spend some time with the kids. You're out of control. You're going to burn out. The kids are going to go crazy. You want to get a dog, and that will be impossible. But the other part of me is like, what are you going to do a month before school gets out, and you have like 10 exams in a row and a bunch of papers due, and you're trying to catch up 100 hours? You know what I mean? So thinking sanely, I feel like, get the hours now, even if they're minimal hours. And I'm taking a couple people's shifts. I need to email someone. I emailed them about another shift. These opportunities come up, first come, first served, people that go on vacation, so I'm going to look for more of those opportunities, which is kind of annoying. Like, you got to be like in the next county on the way to the mountain at a certain time in the morning. And I got another one where I'm going to be participating in another direction, the next county over. Oh gosh, I don't want to travel that far, but you know, they selected me for a lotto. I rather have, there's one that's like a mile from school. I rather have that one. In fact, somebody had said to contact this person, and I should do it. I don't want to do it. I want to take care of my kids. A lot of people, this is my 5th year. A lot of people start this. I think if you take clinic ed, I think when we were in clinic ed, they didn't have this requirement. And I don't think I took clinic ed. I think either I took it right at the end of first year or right at the end of second year. So either way, I could have had those summers where I could have signed up. I didn't even understand it. I didn't know the hour. I didn't know how to participate in them. I didn't know about the lotto thing. And at that point in time, my kids were barely old enough to stay home by themselves. I had extra tests to take. I was going out of town to visit relatives. And people at my school are really good at going out of town on a regular basis and having fun and having weddings and going to Hawaii and going to Nepal and all these places for a month. Like, no, maybe not months, but like 3 to 5 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks at a time. My friends are like, oh, I'm on the other side of the world, chilling, drinking the local water, and not getting sick, which is good. But somehow they're able to do that and do really well in school and get these hours that are needed. And I'm just like, I feel like I can't even take my kids to the movie. And like, I almost feel like going to a movie right now. It's 7:30 at night, and this is what sucks. Oh shoot, the guinea pig's trying to. Okay, shoot, the guinea pig is trying to escape. I'm gonna have to stop. Okay, hold on. If I cover him up, sometimes he doesn't try to escape. Me talking is probably like, okay, the person who gives me food, the person who gives me food is talking, and they're not giving me food. Whether something is irregular, I need to escape from this. He's in a little like Coca-Cola soda container. I don't know, like for cans or something container that I got free in some basement somewhere that I lived. I used to have 2 of those. They are good for art and supplies underneath the futon. I just have to keep an eye on him. But so I'm torn because my kids are already growing up so fast, and it's going to be one day they're going to be like, we're going to drive somewhere, Mom. We'll be back in a couple hours. And it's like, well, besides them being on the computer and me interrupting them every few minutes and them getting angry, they're going to be like out of the house, and then they're going to be like, oh, we're going to college or whatever, you know. So I don't want to miss, oh my gosh, I don't want to miss my kids growing up, but they're also at a stage where they're like, we are busy, we have a schedule, we're doing what we want, and we're used to you doing what you want. And even on vacation, they want to be on their computers. I know a lot of people be like, get your kids off that stuff because they need to know how to behave. But it's like, even when I was their age, I was on a computer, and I had I had that very first Game Boy, Nintendo Game Boy, a really long time ago. It might be at one of my relatives' houses. They probably I don't even know how people saw the screen on those things. They're so like, there's like no light, no color. I literally think those early ones didn't even have lights. You had to buy lights. I have to feed this animal his dinner. So I was just rambling because I didn't want a really long video. I'm considering getting a dog for my son. My son is not being very nice to me at all. He's not talking, and he's trying to, his mentor yesterday said, punish me by behaving poorly towards me. And I would have to spend a lot of money on vet bills on the dog if it's a purebred, on crates and leashes, and I'd have to, come home. I can't even get them to and from school. How in the world am I going to get an animal fed and watered and walked so they don't pee all over? I'm just really concerned, and I almost want to say, we got to wait a year. I almost just want to be like, hey, but I'm praying about it, and some of the actions, I don't want to have him be like, really have some issues where a companion animal could help and not speak up about it. Because I had pets when I was younger, including a dog in 8th grade, and it changed my life. I had the actual companion and somebody who was loving, and I could walk and go on adventures and chill out at home and watch TV with the dog there and, groom the dog. And I don't think I would have given her a bath in our bathtub. I probably would have hosed her down with garden hose, because my parents didn't, like, my dad really didn't want the dog in the house, and he was out of town a lot for work, so the dog spent a lot of time in the house because I was always home alone after school. But part of it even is thinking of having people in here for inspections. Maybe it will prevent them from coming in. And I want to write a letter to some of the doctors or something saying, hey, you're really messing with this family by having people coming in all hours, 7 days a week, whenever you want, without notice, when there's kids home. And even if I'm home, they're coming in without notice. There might be a day, oh gosh, I've been, 5 months with no break whatsoever, 7 days a week. There might be a day where I finally have off, I put my pajamas on, the house is a mess, I want to just drink hot cocoa and watch cartoons. Some guy or a woman is coming in the house, and they'll hold the doors wide open while they do their work, or paint the door, or do this, and the whole neighborhood's walking by. It's like the dishes aren't done, the house is a mess. I decided the night before that I'm going to clean out 2 entire closets, just dump everything by the front door, and as well as with cans and boxes. That because of the way that I'm tired and don't want to go outside in my pajamas, leave it all by the front door for everyone to look in and say, what is wrong with this lady? And I'm embarrassed, but it's like, I have, as an adult, I have my own, I know my schedule for school, even if I don't look at it every day because it's overwhelming. But it's like, there's something about saying, now is the time that I need to rest. And now is the time where I need to do something else. When I was a kid, when I was in college, undergrad, the first time I was out for like a week after finals, I was just done. I'd go home, I only did it a couple times, and I would sleep. And my mom wouldn't let me get away with her making meals and doing the dishes and stuff. It was just like, okay, now that you're home from college, now you got to do your own work and do your own laundry and do your dishes, and you have to eat when we're eating, or you don't eat at all. Which was complete opposite of my brother. He was like pampered like a king, and he never even stayed home. He was always out hanging out with other families, never even staying home with the family. And he was just like, oh, here's some plates of meat and ham and sandwiches for you, and take some back. And I'm like, he has a kitchen with like an oven. I have a dorm room and like a microwave and a miniature refrigerator where all you could fit in there. I don't know. Probably all I did was put bottled water in there or something, because I probably liked water cold back then, which I don't right now. But I know, I have like a bad attitude sort of stuff. And it's all coming for full circle. And what I want to say before I go to feed my guinea pig something, because he needs to eat, I'm letting the past, even as an adult, even when I was in college or when I was earlier, or younger, I was 18 up. You know, some of it I was 17, but by the time the holidays came around, I was 18 and up. And part of it is like, I need to make decisions, and it sucks when you have family members and other people making you feel bad about yourself. I pretty much stopped going home because they were making me feel bad about myself, and they were trying to punish me. And I was sick from, you're in a dorm, everyone's sick, people were dying from meningitis, and you're all eating the same cafeteria, and this not the disposal, but the maybe the, what do you think, where you sanitizer breaks or something. Yeah, and then all of a sudden the same people get meningitis, and then another one has bugs in it, and they're spraying pesticides. And one dorm always made me sick, like literally, like I don't know, I think it was the one with the bugs, and I would have to eat at other dorms, and that's when I started like sharing drinks and stuff with people. That sharing. I never grew up sharing. I mean, actually, we'd be like, oh, let's drink out of the same can. Like soda would be like, just don't touch your lips to it. Like my friends would teach me that, because it was like the military base kids. They would be like, you need to not share germs, and it worked. We didn't get sick from each other. But it's just telling me right now, full circle, is that I have to take care of myself and make my own decisions. The people that yell at me about the fact that I want to put better gas in my car. I even did it with my 91, was it the Toyota or I think it was the Ford Tempo. I had a 91 Ford Tempo about 4.5 years ago or something, 5 years. I had it for a while, for like a lot. I started putting 92 or 89 or 92 gas in it. And those old cars, I mean, they get all gummed up. It's just like, I don't want to drink junky water. I don't want to give my guinea pig junky water. I don't want to give him sewer water. I don't want to give him something that's got additives or isn't filtered or whatever. I mean, I don't mind stuff not being filtered, but I don't want something that's got like pharmaceuticals or weird chemicals in it. If you have an option that only costs you like 7 more cents or 4 more cents a gallon, I'd rather pay and have health. So people always criticize me because I buy bottled water. I put better gas in the car. I swore my gas mileage for a while like doubled. I'm like, there you go, like 18 miles per gallon, and I put better gas, and now I'm like 31 in the city or something ridiculous. I haven't looked at it. Don't quote me on that. And it's like, actually, I feel like if I'm paying only, in this one store you go to, they'll take $1 off a gallon. So you're like, it's like, oh, I'm paying like really little for gas. Not really little. Out here on the West Coast, it's expensive. But, especially here. But, anyways, they criticize, but then in reality, I'm actually paying half as much as I ever paid when the gas was, wasn't going up to $5 a gallon. Out here it was. So it's like, I can't explain things to people. They complain about me eating salads. They take me to restaurants that don't have salads, and then I get off my food plan for months because I let somebody get that taste back in my mouth of all this tasty Chinese food or whatever, and I'm like, then I gain 20 pounds, and the people weigh several hundred pounds more than me, and I'm like, why do I let them criticize me and make me feel like you can't eat what we eat, then you don't need to socialize. No wonder you don't have any friends. And it's like, why can't we go to anywhere, even Wendy's or McDonald's? At least they have salads. If I'm not hungry, I can get 2 side salads and still socialize in a cup of water. I don't even want to drink the teas. I don't even think it's herbal. But I let these people treat me like I am their child, and that they have no reason to treat me like someone who can make decisions. It messes me up, and it causes me a lot of stress. And so, between controlling relatives and a lot of past growing up with controlling relatives, like, they would physically force you. I've even had friends that physically drag me around to play the games that they want me to play. I've had the same people try to suffocate me in sleeping bags when I was a kid. We'd be playing games where you walk around with a sleeping bag over your head, and for some reason, I was always the one who they trampled and sealed the end up. And I'm in there saying, I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. It was scary. And I would always come late, and they'd make fun of me, and I'm sure they said, oh, we do the sleeping bag game. Everyone, come out of your sleeping bag so that you can, suffocate this lady. It's like, it's people I'm friends with on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I ever want to visit them again, because when they were kids, they were, like, very dangerous. So, between that, growing up with friends that were controlling, being in an abusive marriage for 10 years, controlling other relatives and or friends, seem to attract the same kind. Living in all these housing programs where if you're not doing anything in your life, they let you do what they want. Or, yeah. If I wasn't doing anything, like going to work and school and being in the clinic and putting my kids in schools that I think are really good, which is sacrificing because that means I have to drive them, pick them up, pay for daycare, which is better, which is cheaper. The kids here get on a bus, and their daycare and everything, I believe, is free for them. I believe that my neighbors, because I live in a housing program, I believe everything they do is free. It's from 100% of their food. All the kids, everyone has 4 to 10 kids, at least 4 to 11 kids that I know of. From 4 to 11 kids, all on state insurance. If I had 4 to 11 kids, I'd be grateful I had state insurance to try to, keep my kid from having some issue or something, or whatever. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully if I had that many kids, me and my spouse would have a good job or live with relatives if I had to, because I don't know. But it's like everyone's kids have really nice the people have really nice cars and vans. I tried to buy a minivan. It was twice as much as the car, more than twice as much as the car that I have now. Everyone has nicer clothes than my kids. My son doesn't get hand-me-downs. He does occasionally, but my daughter gets all hers hand-me-downs. Occasionally I buy clothes. But a lot of stuff falls apart and stuff. Or I'll buy clothes for myself, and then it ends up, I accidentally put it in her room or something, and she wears it. So I'm like, she's a kid. It's nice to have something new, have something fresh and new and crisp once in a while. Of course, I buy them shoes. And all the kids here have nice bikes, and they even have motor scooters and bikes. And one family, we live in like poor people housing. They have 3 SUVs between them and the children. And then the one that doesn't drive has a motor scooter. I'm like, whoa. And I'm sure they all have the newest iPhones. It's none of my business what they spend their money on. This lady was from another country, so she says she's used to being rich, and because of the drama with her and her ex-husband, she ended up having everything fall apart. It's none of my business, And I don't know the details. I don't know who's got credit card debt. I don't know. It's none of my business. All I know is my rent keeps going up, and any health insurance, any medical For the most part, unless it's a vaccination, most of the medical expenses I am paying out of pocket. So I don't even go to my own clinic anymore, because there's some things that they try to overcharge me several $100s. It's like I went to a follow-up visit to tell you that I'm fine, and it took like 10 minutes, which for naturopath that's really short. But then they still tried to charge me like $130 or $140. And like at my clinic now, that price for any patients, because I was supposed to be using a student discount rate, which is not, I never trust discounts, but it was like they ended up, right now it would be for anyone off the street, their second visit would be $35, period. And this is very discounted from when it was a couple of years ago. Like, why are you making me pay like $140 for 10 minutes follow-up visit where you didn't do anything? And I think I asked for a letter. They might have charged me for that. Like, I would have gone to my other naturopath, and I just asked for the letter because I was there, and I'm like, it won't take that long to type it. So anyways, I'm just complaining, ranting, raving on. And the sun I lost my light, so the sun is going down. To tell you the truth, I don't feel like cleaning the house right now, and it's stressed me out, so I just feel like run down even worse. I wanted to do something with my kids, and people always say, if the mom's not happy, nobody's happy, and I usually never take care of myself. I needed to buy some extra things for my clinic. Somebody gave me a spa, pedicure, gift card. I never used it. I've never ever got a pedicure or a manicure or anything. I haven't had my hair done by a professional since, you could tell, right? Since 1990, maybe 93. I'm pushing it, and it was only to braid my hair, which was a lot longer than, or at least it got longer. And I don't even know, it might have been before 93. It seems like my school picture, my senior picture, I had my hair chemically processed. I've never gone to the dry cleaners as an adult. Like, I don't go to restaurants. If I do, I get a salad. I'm like, I could have just gone to the store and gotten a salad and put it in a cute container with my name on it and make myself feel special. So I just have to realize that I'm letting people always tell me, and then you get like 50 people telling you can't do this, you gotta do this, you gotta take your kids here, you gotta do this, how come your car's a mess? We're gonna do an inspection, we're gonna do it not only Thursday, we're gonna do it Friday, and you might not be home Friday, but you can't go anywhere Thursday because you don't want your kids home alone with some weirdo coming in and out of your house at who knows how many times or how many hours or who they're gonna be, and and my neighbor's like, oh, they're not gonna let someone in your house, that's not safe. And like, show me. When I go to a daycare center, I always hope that the people, when my kids go, are up to date with their background checks and stuff. But it doesn't even matter. Because how do I know if they could have gotten caught for something a year, like 9 months ago, that doesn't show up because they're not doing their recertification. I don't even think they have to do it every year. So I just want to tell you this, accountability wise, the house needs to be clean. I'm just tired and lazy, and I just want to chill out and do what I want to do, so I get an attitude problem. And in my mind, before I got the notice, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get home to clean the house because that's my favorite thing to do. But when I get the notice, I'm like, I'm not cleaning it. And so tomorrow at 9 o'clock, I'll be running around trying to clean it because I'm scared. And then I'll probably let it be messy, and then like Friday morning I'll do the same thing. And for all I know, they'll come early. I don't even know. So I just wanted to say that. I'm considering getting a dog. It should be clean anyways. But I was so motivated before I got the notice on the door that I was like, don't tell me what to do. I was like, this is one day that I'm doing what I want to do. And besides the fact that I had homework and other stuff to do. But with all these housing programs and even school and all this stuff, I mean, normal people have jobs and stuff. It just always feels like the older I get, the more I feel control over me. The less I feel like I can do what I want to do. From the type of chair I put on my front porch, to the color of my curtains, to the, how many potted plants I put on my porch and what size they are. All that stuff I have to follow a set of rules. But they don't care if kids throw rocks at your car. They don't care if kids throw nails on toilet paper rolls in the middle of the street when you're driving down the street. They don't care that every kid in this neighborhood breaks every rule in the lease. They're not going to say a word. But it's like, for me, because we're like different and it's just me and two kids, they want to say whatever they can to intimidate me. So, accountability wise, I got two things. One is wishing and dreaming. Both of them are like wishing and dreaming. One is that I would be able to really make a clear decision about a dog and or how to raise my kids, because that will be a very critical thing to have in the house. B would be, is there any way, God willing, I mean, if I really want it, I need to pray it, not God willing, but please guide me. That's how tired I am. This is why I don't want to clean anything. I'm like, I had cramps in all of my butt muscles. I almost fell down during class. It's like, sometimes, that's what I mean. It's like, I can't take care of my own health, let alone clean an entire 2-story house before tomorrow. But B, if there's some way that I can get out of town, that's my favorite thing to do. And it's always so short. It's typically three nights max. I can't do 2. If there is some way that I could get me and my kids out of the house, I've never been out of the house by myself, but I mean, I can't. They're not old enough to leave home. If there's a way that we could go on an adventure, go to a I've never rented a cabin by myself, or I've never rented a cabin. Period. I've done hotels and motels, not even motels. If there's a way that I could get some solid days off, and my only problem is my sound machine. My only problem is having the days off. I already have to make up 6 clinic shifts, which are 4 hours each. I have to cram them into my schedule, as well as with the 219 hours of observation, as well as 3 to 4 clinic shifts a term. I think 3 in the fall, 4 in the winter, 4 in the spring, as well as 20 to 30 something credit hours. Besides the fact that my kids are going to need to go to school and I'm the only one who gives them rides, so I'm going to have to look at my empty bank account and figure out how I'm going to hire someone to bring my kids home. Especially my boy. Unless he decides to go to school with the neighbors where the bus will pick him up directly outside. I mean, they're in a good place here. The school bus from the middle school here, if you're inside sleeping, your parents could be like, the bus is here. They would still have time to get dressed and go. They might not have time to use the bathroom, but they would have time to get dressed and run outside, because there is like, I swear there's at least 20, 30 kids that get on that right out front. And they divide it up, like that house. They stop in front of that house and they stop in front of that house, a couple houses down. So they have like 2 stops here. It's ridiculous. So they don't have to walk an extra 30 feet. But it would be good for a kid. When I was a kid, there was only me getting on the bus. And if you missed it, they were gone. The only time I had, because they had to back in and then pull back out and turn around. And I had enough time. If I was already ready, I had time for my mom to go outside and be like, wait! Because I had to go all like a quarter of a mile down the street. I had to run as fast as my little legs could carry for that stupid bus, because it took off on a 40-mile-per-hour road, so I had to get out there before they took off. So there's a lot going on. Praying, being wise about the dog, praying, being wise about the kids. I just want to go somewhere and not care if they put a notice on the door. Oh, if they come to the house, who cares? We cleaned it, we're gone. As long as they leave our guinea pig alone. Bring him along, who cares? And then B, in the future, things should go well. In a year, I should have my degree for medical school. I will still be taking tests and waiting for results. A lot of people travel around the world and stuff. I don't know how in the world they do any of this, but it's just like, I just want to be able to be free or do something. I almost wish I could have been studying for a month after boards, or before boards, and just gone on adventures and sat at campgrounds with the RV and just read all night and let the kids sleep all day and have a campfire every night, go to sleep, let them stay up and watch movies. I would love to do that next summer. Anyone rooting for me to do that? I would love to do that today. Who cares? clean the house tonight and take off tomorrow. That would be kind of fun. But I'm so tired I don't want to drive anywhere. That's where it comes in. That's where the trouble comes in. But in the future, I just pray that, and you guys, this accountability, and make sure that I speak these words to God. Just that things go well, things go better, and it's not going to go away. In this country, it's like, even if I had my own business, and I had like my own medical practice, I still will have people coming and doing inspections. I still have the potential for the IRS to do an audit. I still have to do my taxes. I still have patients. You know, we just had jurisprudence class talking about what happens if your patient sues you. They can sue for any reason. I'm still going to have to follow the rules of this country. There's not anarchy here. And I'm still going to have, you know, if I need things to be under fire code, and I'm still going to have to clean things and a cleanliness so that people don't share germs or bugs or parasites or whatever they might have. So, put my water bottle somewhere. So, in that movie, the guy, I don't want to say what happens at the end, but the guy's basically, everything's against the law, and it kind of reminds me of Demolition Man, where everything's like super orderly, everyone looks the same, dressed the same, da-da-da-da-da. And only the black people were on the TV. They weren't in real life, I don't think. I thought it was humorous. They were holograms. But, sometimes I feel like, I've said this before, like the frog in the water that's boiling slowly. You're slowly being boiled, and you're not realizing, oh, sorry, he was sleeping. You're not realizing that you're being burned, versus the frog that just gets thrown into the water, and it's like, wait, let me out, I'm jumping out. Bing! You know. So, don't let me be like super paranoid. This is the country, this is what it lived in. If other races of people, different groups of people that have been enslaved and been rounded up by Hitler, like there's been different things where people where it's not fair and they're oppressed and they have no way out. But sometimes I just want, like, I can always imagine like owning or renting an RV, even having some families that I trust, and just being able to like have an inflatable raft or a kayak or something, and just boom, just going out and seeing the beauty that God made, seeing the mountains, seeing the rivers, streams, seeing the ocean, and it's clean, not full of radiation from the meltdown, all this stuff, and just like chilling out with a hammock and a actually comfortable lawn chair that doesn't have bars that like cut off your circulation at your thigh, and just, even if I did have dogs and stuff, and just being able to hike and walk and get some movement, exercise, and it's like in the city and all this time, it's like everything is confined. You have to be quiet all the time. You're inside a building, you have to be quiet, to tiptoe, you can't be loud, you can't swing your arms, and, you know, you can't play your music, and it's like, you know, it's like, you can't even vacuum, you have to vacuum when we tell you can vacuum. It's like really crazy. You can water your grass when we tell you to. So, I need to get over my attitude and enjoy my life. Some people are in the hospital because they're sick or they got a wreck and they can't do anything, and they're just grateful to be alive, and I need to be grateful that I'm alive. And I've had this attitude, a little bit of an attitude before about, it wasn't an attitude, it was, in younger days, I'd say, if you just get through this one thing, everything after this is going to be so relaxing. But I'm realizing slowly, I mean, it's obvious, but it's like, you can't just clean the house once and expect to be clean for the next 25 years. And so I'm like, you can't just expect, oh, even if you went on vacation, that you're going to be, like in a zen place for the rest of your life. But at the same time, the way my attitude is, it's like, if I get a notice on the door, oh, goody, I try to tell myself, just what I needed to motivate me to clean up the house, and, you know, and I'm going to have some fun and reward myself in between, and get on the Wii Fit and do something fun, and drink some hot cocoa, and watch a movie, and, you know, clean the guinea pig cage, and be joy, and walk up another street and actually get fresh air, and don't be afraid of the people that throw rocks at my head. Just like, you know, so, yeah, this is a lot longer than I meant it to be, so, just a lot of accountability things. I think I don't like to say that I feel worse as I'm getting older about what's really going on in the world. I don't know if it's me, and just, like, I don't want to say the word wisdom, because I don't feel very wise. I don't know if it's me having some wisdom in some areas, and really paying attention to what's going on, or if things in the world are changing exponentially, like my dad talks about the price of goods and the how low incomes are. I mean, for some people, it's like separating people of lower income and people higher income, losing the middle class. He's like, I've never seen it like this before. And he grew up pretty poor, but it's like, you could afford the things that you could afford, you just weren't splurging on luxury items. Now it's like everything's a luxury item. And it's like, and even if my kids get help sometimes for stuff, they're like, if we give you this fund for this thing for this 1 month, you have to use it by a certain date. And we're going to check your bank account for this other thing. And we're going to, and so it's like, I'm going around buying excess stuff because it's like, well, we're going to need it, but we don't want to rush it. And we have a small refrigerator. It's like, we want to space it out since the program's going to end. But they tell you have to do something absurd, and they don't give you a choice. It's like, you cannot even fight this. Once your funding is gone, it's gone. And because we told you, there's no way that you can fight it. I'm like, I'm not going to take someone to court to a hearing to fight some stupid $20 or whatever. Dropping stuff all over. So I hope that I'm not being too crazy about how the world is. I know a lot of people that are just like, oh my gosh, everything in my life is just great. It's just love, peace, love, or like all those people on drugs. But I'm like, a lot of times, don't get me wrong, most of the day I'm grateful and I'm praying and I tell God, thank you for giving me a chance to move on. Please guide me to do the next right thing. And there's some challenges I've overcome, and I ask God to keep me on the right track. So don't get me wrong about me having an attitude. It's just sometimes I want to say enough is enough. I am wearing myself down to the bone, and I need to make a change. And we want everything to change. I'm in medical school. I don't want a bunch of sick people. But in order to change, we have to do something different, not act like insanity, and not do the same actions expecting different results. But that change seems to be almost impossible. And if I can't change someone else's diet, most of my patients are willing, I can change mine, or I can also change it to a point where I'm not so strict that I feel guilty if I decide to eat the shrimp like I did tonight. They have a whole like big huge jumbo bag in the freezer, which I didn't want, but it was the only one that had wild shrimp versus farm raised, and then it was up from the West Coast, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Where do I get a hold of one of those radiation tick 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 things? I'm like all paranoid. So that's what I'm going to do today. I think a lot of pastors will say it's like joy and everything. Be joyful, be joyful, be joyful amidst any of the storms. And I have that in my mind. And sometimes I just want to vent, just to vent. Because I will hold stuff in, and then I'll become bitter and angry and just spew it out decades later. And people will get mad at me for venting about stuff. But I don't know if they're on medication, benzo or something. I don't know if they're just like, oh, I'm going to be chill and I don't care what happened. I'm one of those people that I stuffed my feelings all my life as a kid. I wasn't allowed to express anything. Everything would end up blowing up when stuff got too full. And I don't want to ever do that again. And I don't want to teach my kids ever to do that again. And I almost rather be over dramatic about stuff. Because if I'm over dramatic, it's like, in a little while, I forget about it. Because I have so many hobbies and like so many books laying around. Like, oh, let's do something fun. It's almost like a video game. It's almost like my life's like a video game. It's like, you go to a different room and you go to a different thing. And I'm not talking about the shoot 'em up, just normal, like old fashioned Mario or something. You go on an adventure, you go to a different thing, and you find a different activity to do. That's me. It's like, oh, you're doing different activity, la la la, and then you get in a fight with the dragon, and you have a sword, and then you're like, oh, that was stressful, and then you're like you're dramatic, angry about it, and you lose heart lives and stuff, and then all of a sudden you're back to normal, and you refill your hearts, and you play in the flowers, and blah 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 blah. It's like, so. Anyways, I don't really think my life is a video game, but I played a lot of games as a kid, and I was trying to use it as an analogy to telling you guys that I'm not really just wanting to be bitter all the time, but I do have to be careful about how I behave, because I don't want to turn into what I don't want to be when I'm older, because I'm already like old when I'm even older. So that's all I have to say. I hope everyone's enjoying their summer if you're living in this part of the world, and I hope that everyone is excited about this. Usually it's August, usually the hottest time of the year, and I just hope that everyone stays safe. And Labor Day is coming up in about 3 weeks. A lot of kids will be going back to school, I'm personally disappointed about it because I want more time with my kids. I have no break this summer. I have Labor Day off, but I have, let's see, missing Monday clinic, Sunday. I'll have Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then Tuesday night I have to be somewhere. So I'll still have clinic on Saturday. So there's no vacation there unless I went somewhere Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I never really go anywhere on Labor Day. I might do it this time. I might actually go ask my son right now, and this asking my kids stuff will be a commitment. And I'm willing to go somewhere. And I'm willing to go somewhere where there's a lot of hiking so I can burn off some of these calories. So, okay, bye-bye.